Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Clayton Echard sits down with us weekly to talk about how he fell in love with multiple women.
I remember one day it hit me and I was like, falling in love with multiple women. And I kind of started laughing in disbelief. I don't know if it was I think it was a nervous laugh.
And Clayton season kicks off, who made the most memorable entrance? And we break down his first night connections. We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly senior editor Sarah Heron. Sarah, Happy New Year and happy new season of The Bachelor.
Oh, Christina, is there any better way to start off the year? Happy New Year.
No breaks at all. We're going right from The Bachelorette into The Bachelor. And I have to say, I think it's going to be a good season. I'm excited for it.
There's a lot. This was a classic premiere. We had so many interesting limo entrances. We had connections forming. We had a lot of different layers of things. And based on those trailers, as we've been saying, Clayton's he's gonna make some decisions that are gonna be questionable. And that's what I want to see in my lead. I don't need someone to always have their head on their shoulders, especially when it's The Bachelor. It's exciting. And I did talk to Clayton about some of what we're gonna see. We talked about regrets. We talked about that quote unquote being intimate with two women clip that we've all seen 1,000 times now, and if he had any rules for falling in love. So here's what Clayton told me about what we can expect.
Did you have any rules with yourself going in about whether you were going to use that word or how you were going to try to navigate that? Because we've seen over the years, people kind of either decide they're not going to say it or say it. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I actually used absolutes, which I no longer use anymore because this whole experience taught me not to. But I did. I remember the first day I went in, I said, I will not fall in love with multiple people. And I was so serious about it. And then, then the journey began and I was just battling with it mentally. I'm like, no, there's no way. And then I finally came to terms with it. And I was like, you know what, quit fighting these feelings, because if you do fight the feelings, you're going to hold back. And then that's going to cause these women to potentially put up their walls. So, I remember one day it hit me and I was like, falling in love with multiple women. And I kind of started laughing in disbelief. I don't know if it was I think it was a nervous laugh. But you know what? I realized I'm like, you can't fight these feelings. You have to allow them to come out.
What can you tell me about the decision to announce to your finalists that you were intimate with two of them at a rose ceremony?
The thing is obviously you guys see the promo. I mean, the what was shown, it's like it was upsetting for the women to hear it, and rightfully so. I understand that. My big thing is I'm someone who's very transparent, and I know that there's questions of why did he say this, but again, just understand that once the show airs, that whole scene will play out, and there will be an explanation, and people will then understand. Or at least, they'll be able to see the full picture of what actually happened in the way that it did. So I know there's a lot of questions right now, and I get it, right? You see a clip and you go, what was that about? Well, there will be answers in due time. I think just everyone has to have a little bit of patience, and I promise there will be answers.
I can't wait. Do you have any regrets about how you handled the season? You kind of hinted at maybe with your using absolutes. Would you say maybe that was something you would go back and do differently, or you just learned from it?
Yeah, I think for me, I realized that I'm like, I can't say that I have any regrets, because if I would have done things differently, would it have been my 100% authentic journey? And I think the answer to that's no. So what I did in every moment while I was there was what I thought was right. Does that mean it was right? Probably not. No. I mean, I definitely was not perfect. I did some things wrong, but I did everything under my own volition and what I thought was best. And so for that, I'm like, you know what? You stayed true to yourself, and you developed some battle scars along the way, but that's just what life is.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out. Like you said, he's probably going to make some really bad decisions, and he kind of admits to that as well. He had those rules for falling in love and kind of said it a little too many times, was a little loose with the L word. But like you said, that's what we kind of like to see in our Bachelor.
Yeah, I have high hopes, and I think he's going to be one of these people who hopefully he's able to laugh off maybe some of the criticism. We've kind of seen him do it so far, because based on the trailer, I just think there's gonna be a lot of emotions. He's crying, he's broken, the girls are crying. I hope he can like take it in stride, because it could get rough for Clayton, but good for us, if that makes any sense. I know it's horrible to say, but it is entertainment, right? It's reality TV. We're allowed to laugh.
That's why we're watching. Totally. All right. Well, let's get into last night's episode and kick it off with our Bachelor buzzwords. What kind of summed this up for you?
Okay, well, first of all, tall. I think that all the women talked about how tall Clayton was. He is very tall. He's very cute. Loved that they were all, it was very much. And then you had Jesse Palmer and all the women talking about how, quote unquote, sincere he was. Jesse Palmer, I think, quote unquote, said that he was the most sincere person ever looking to find love on the show. Like, bold statement, Jesse Palmer. But it was like one of those memes, like, is he sincere or is he tall? Like, is he one of those things? So those what really stood out to me. The women kept talking about how tall and sincere.
Sincere. Mine was first impression, because obviously we have the first impression Rose, but then we got our first impression of Clayton, because, like he says, like, we didn't really see too much of him on Michelle's season. So this was kind of our first introduction to him. Also our reintroduction into Jesse Palmer. So what was your first impression of Jesse as our brand new host?
Honestly, it was just Chris Harrison vibes, which not saying that in a bad way, shady way. Anyway, it just is. I think it was very similar to Chris Harrison. I thought it was funny when he said, "Hi, Bachelor Nation. For those who don't remember me, I'm Jesse Palmer." I thought that was funny. I kind of wish they showed us a clip of him when he was the Bachelor. I think that would have been fun. Him and Clayton look so much alike. They're dressing alike. It's a little weird, but I think it's fine. What do you think? I think
it's fine. No, you're totally right. Like, sometimes I had to do a double take, because I'm like, is that Clayton or is that Jesse? Like, I don't really know who I'm looking at. But yeah, it just seems like it was like they just printed off the script from last season of the last season that Chris Harrison was the Bachelor. We're like, here, Jesse, just say these words all over again. So it felt like Chris Harrison walking through the door all over again. But I think it'll be fine.
They tried to like make fun of it though with him, like, I practiced the words dramatic, like. And it kind of worked, and part of me was just like, oh, this is like so stupid. Like, I don't know. But at the same time, as far as a host is concerned, he's obviously very polished. He's been hosting for ABC for years. So I think it'll be fine. I think it is what it is. I don't think we're going to get like candid moments like we got with Caitlyn. I think it's going to be very similar to Chris Harrison. I wonder what Chris Harrison would think watching it so badly.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. Something tells me he's not tuning in.
I don't think so. Right. What about early ships? Who was your like immediate connection for Clayton?
I know, like, obviously he didn't give her the first impression Rose, but I really like Rachel, the pilot. I feel like they had like kind of a connection, that they had the music going where, that they're like, possibly going to form this, a love connection or have a nice conversation. So I kind of liked her. I feel like she may go far, but we'll have to see. And I think we even see her later on in the teaser, since they basically gave the entire season away. So, but yeah, I liked her. She seemed sincere. How about you?
Yeah, I liked her too. And I did clock him saying like, I've been looking for her. Like he definitely had his eye out on her, but he did end up giving that first impression Rose to Teddy. So I figured this was a good way. I don't know if I'm totally shipping, but I think it's a good way to talk about Teddy. He was clearly very into her. First impression Rose. And she seems like a nice girl. I mean, they definitely had that like physical connection spark, like kind of goo-goo lust for each other. And I think that's a good way to give out your first impression Rose. I think that was a solid pick for Clayton.
I do too. I liked her. She was confident. She was funny. She kind of went out there and got what she wanted. And I liked her. I thought she was really sweet. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know if I see this as a long-term thing, but who knows? We're only night one. So, but first impressions always go pretty far.
It was kind of nice. Yeah, they do. But it was kind of nice as far as a night one for the first time in a while where I didn't feel like I could pick out a solid top like five. Like it was pretty, and maybe it's because there was a lot of limo entrances, which we'll get into now, and like how much they gave them a lot of screen time introducing the girls, which I prefer it that way. I feel like the last couple of years, specifically like Michelle's season, even kind of Katie's season, like Greg was pretty like obvious up there, Matt, Rachel, like it kind of felt pretty obvious to me, but this felt very much like, I got nothing, but it's supposed to be, except for the promos.
Right. No, it was good. All right. Well, this show is all about a good one-liner. So who did your best line of the night go to?
there's a lot of them, and I kind of spread them out within Thirsty and Cringe, but I just love a quick shout out to whoever was the one who said, I hope that's the only snake in the house, with the girl who brought the snake. I thought that was a cute and little quippy moment. And it was funny with the girls. It felt like it made me laugh at the end of it. Was like, this is the most supportive group of girls ever. And then they promo and they all just hate each other. Like, that was just good TV, man.
That was really good TV. I love the magic of editing on that one. That was really good. Yes. Mine went to Clayton because at the beginning of the episode, he's like, you're probably wondering why I'm the Bachelor with only 8 minutes of screen time. We love that he can kind of take a good laugh out of himself and is thinking the same thing as we all were, being like, why is he the Bachelor? But I get it now. I totally get it.
Do you get it? You're like all in on Clayton?
I kind of am. I'm kind of, look, based on night one, I mean, and maybe based on those trailers and everything like that, since he's going to be a hot mess. But yes, I'm all in on Clayton right now.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd say I'm all in. I don't know if I totally get it yet, but I think he is quite charming. And like I said, he's taking everything in stride so far, even from like the quick interviews I did with him. Super like nice guy. And they're tough questions to like ask, like, oh, why are you, why did they give you this job? And he's taking it. So I like that of him. Totally. What about thirst? There was some thirst in this episode.
There was so many thirsts in this episode, especially with the limo entrances. But I went to Claire saying that she hates Clayton because clearly she was just doing this for some screen time and she just wanted us to like know her name and she wanted to cause a little bit of drama. Yeah, but like saying that you hate somebody right after you meet them when he didn't do anything wrong, and it was like another girl came to to scoop him up while they were having their tailgate date. But yeah, it was a little harsh.
Yeah, she said, quote, not the vibe. He's 100% too nice for me. I bet I beat his ass in cornhole. He sucks. I hate him. Like, she was being so aggressive. And I don't know if, like, one, this was, like, always her plan. Because, like, what'd she think with Clayton? Like, I don't know what she was, like, we knew who the Bachelor was when she signed up for this. Like, what was she expecting from Clayton? And, like, she just came off so aggressive. Like, I don't know if maybe she had too much to drink, or if that's just like her personality, or if she thought maybe she was like going to solidify herself as a villain that would make her go farther, or if she didn't realize how aggressive she was coming off. Like, there's so many different things to that, but either way, yeah, it wasn't very likable and it wasn't very fun, and I'm glad she just left. Like,
yeah, I am too. I actually thought, like, when they first started talking, I'm like, oh, I can maybe see this. They like they have like the football connection and things like that. Maybe they'll actually go far. Then things just turned real quickly. So yeah, like I said, I wasn't sure if like she was there just to cause some drama and get some screen time, but it just definitely felt like she just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, all right, we can stop talking about Claire now.
Yeah, and bye, Claire. I don't know if we'll ever see her again. And
I don't think so either. How about you?
Okay, Dr. Kara, I can't remember her name, in the lingerie, the doctor. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, like that was just like it was thirsty. It is what it is. I'm not, here to shame, but like everything about her was just, she came on strong.
Very strong.
In her lingerie. And also Samantha in the bathtub, which is like her bubbly personality. Anytime you show up like naked or in like a bathing suit or in lingerie, it's just going to get the thirst award. It just is.
It just totally is. Totally is. All right, let's talk about our cringeworthy moments of the night, because anytime we have night one, there's always some cringeworthy moments. So how about you?
Yeah, and these are two girls who I actually like, and I also just want to talk about, to go back to Teddy. Teddy's entrance was really freaking weird. She said, you're a big teddy bear. Hopefully soon I'll be your teddy bear. Like, that doesn't make sense.
I feel like she messed it up. Like, maybe she was like trying to say something else and it just didn't come out right.
No, that was weird. Again, I liked her fine, but that was just like made me cringe a little bit. I'm like, what am I doing here? And then Gabby, who is the one who dated Dean Unglert and Blake Hortzman back in the day. She dated Dean when they were in college. They went to college together. She dated Dean. Dean described her as, quote, the second love of my life, if you will.
Wow.
When on his podcast, they were 19. And then when she was in her early 20s, her roommate was really good friends with Blake, and they dated for like a couple weeks, like not as seriously, but he dated, which is funny just because Kaylin had a love triangle with them, obviously. Right. So Gabby is the Denver cheerleader who dated Blake and Dean, which I love. And she was really goofy, which on his podcast, Blake spoke a lot about her and was like, yeah, she's goofy. I could see her going really far. She's like a cheerleader who worked in COVID, but she's like really silly. Like if she gets the good edit, like they could do a lot with her if they want to, is kind of what he was implying. And I liked her, but the whole like sit on your face pillow thing made me cringe a little bit.
Totally. She kind of gives me some like Catherine Lowe vibes too. Because, I spoke to Catherine a couple of weeks ago and she said that even Clayton, kind of reminded her of Sean as well. So I wonder if Gabby goes far, because I actually liked her. I was going to maybe ship them, but they didn't really have any moments together. But I do. I like them. And
she doesn't take it too seriously. But then you have to think like, oh, she's got two Bachelor Nation ties. Like that is interesting.
Didn't know that.
Side note, Susie, who didn't really get that much screen time, but she's a pageant girl. She is friends with Caitlin they were both in like the Virginia pageant circuit. So Dean and Caitlin have a lot going on with this season of the show.
Oh my God. So many like Bachelor, like secret circles. They're, the 7th degree of The Bachelor, I guess. Mine was the wing woman. I didn't really understand it. I was like, oh, are they like teasing the senior Bachelor finally? Because we've been talking about the casting for that for years and it's never happened. I'm like, oh, here we go. But yeah, and then they never really explained it. They're like, oh, I thought maybe it was her mom. Like,
right.
Like what? Who was this random person?
I don't know. I thought it was definitely going to be her mom. And then I was like, that's like kind of weird, but I kind of like that. And then you remember it. And then if you ever get to hometown, it's like, oh, I met you. And like, that's like a storyline. And that was Rachel, who we liked, but that was a weird move.
It was such a weird move. I didn't really understand it at all. They never really explained it. So that was kind of cringe to me. And then the other one, I don't even remember her name, but bringing her ex's ashes. I thought that was a little cringy too.
That was really stupid. And like, I don't know if they thought that was going to be Jill. I just checked my notes. Jill brought the ashes. I don't know if like what she thought she was doing there, but that landed flat.
Totally flat. But there were some good ones too. So we definitely, I think the good outweighed the bad.
Yeah, it was just solid. That's why my rose is limo entrances, just because I like forget every time the Bachelor rolls around, I'm like, oh, new season, like got to gear up, got to study the bios, whatever, take all these notes. And then I just like enjoy it. Like the limo entrances are great. And I thought this episode like had a great balance of, we got a decent amount of the packages, introducing some of the girls. I feel like we saw every limo entrance. Like there was a lot of it. We saw a few moments of Clayton being stolen. We got a rose ceremony. We got a first impression rose. Like I felt like it was just a solid premiere. There was a little bit of drama. We got to talk about Sally, but overall, like I thought it was just like solid, and I'd like to give my rose to the limo entrances for never disappointing me ever.
Yes, I love it. I love it. My rose went to Clayton because like I said, he kind of won me over last night, and then he seems like super pumped to be there. He's very excited. He wants to find love. He said, I guarantee I'm going to get down on one knee, probably famous last words. I don't know about that. But we'll have to wait and see. And also Bachelor Mansion. It was nice to be back.
It looked great.
It did. It looked like they spruced the place up a little bit.
Totally.
Who do you want to see packing?
Okay, this is like so random, but the girl Daria, who it just like stuck out to me. Like I'm sure she's a lovely person, but she's in her last year of law school at Yale, and like Daria, I need you to go back to school. Like this is not worth it. Like I just don't like when we see like lawyer, and I know like Rachel, Lindsay, Andy, they're all great, and like I don't know, it's kind of whatever, but it just stuck out to me as like, oh, like you're still in law school and you're at Yale and now you're at the Bachelor Mansion. Like, Daria, you can go back to Hayden.
I was thinking that too. I was like, she only's got a few more months left. Like, couldn't you just wait till next year to maybe go on the show, or just, this is not worth it. Not worth it, Daria. Not it. Yeah. Mine went to Sally because did we really need 10 minutes of that? Did we need it at all?
I needed 20 more minutes. I thought it was thrilling. I truly like wanted to know. I've Googled Sally, left, like I know her and her bachelor party was allegedly in September. This guy who was a doctor, he'd been married before. Like I need to know everything about this. Like I have searched him high and low. There's not a lot on the internet, but their registry is still available. So their wedding was September 26th. And
you can still buy them a gift then?
Yeah, exactly. I need her to come back. I want her to come back.
I wonder if she does.
Yeah, maybe that's why they showed it.
Maybe, because it's like, why else would they show, unless they just needed to fill some time, and they were like, oh, this has never happened before. Let's try this.
Also, it gave me such Peter Weber vibes when he immediately like wanted to give her a rose. I was like, what are we doing, Clayton? Like this girl is literally telling you I'm a walking red flag. Like I'm not over my ex. But he's like, you should stay. I was like, yes, she should stay for my entertainment, but of course she should go home. This is insane, Sally. What are you doing?
And it's like, dude, does he always have just roses on hand? Like,
where'd he go?
Like where
he's saying to the producers, like, how do I play this? And they were like, give the rose, or was it his idea? Like, there's a lot about, I could talk about Sally for a million years, but obviously it was unnecessary, but like, I thought it was fascinating.
It really was fascinating. But yes, it's something that we've never seen in Bachelor Nation before, where she's like, I'm going to go meet the Bachelor instead of just going home. Okay, Sally, you do you.
Sally, come to paradise. This is my invitation to you to come to paradise.
Something tells me we will definitely see Sally in paradise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that is it for this week's episode of Here for the Right Reasons. We did it. We are, officially underway into the next season of The Bachelor.
I can't wait for what's to come.
I know. Sarah, who's on the podcast this week?
All right, I'm recapping with Game of Roses. It's a Bachelor podcast that treats the Bachelor like it's actually like not real people, and they're like it's like a show. They have like all this terminology. It's very intense. They have a new book coming out called How to Win the Bachelor, and I'm like going into their world for a week, and it's like a lot of moving pieces, but I think it's really interesting. So you should go listen to the Here for the Right Reasons podcast if you want to hear how they recap the show.
That sounds so fascinating. I'm so excited about it. All right. All right. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. Make sure, like I said, go listen to Here for the Right Reasons podcast and check back every Tuesday. We are back here on Tuesdays on Us Weekly's YouTube channel. I know it feels good to have Bachelor back on a Monday. All right. Thanks, everybody. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.